here's my audience today. I have Freddie here, my mom, my dad, and my brother will be recording me. Alright, my name is Kaylie Johnson, and today I'm going to discuss the damage of oil spills and what we can do to help clean them up. There have been many oil spills throughout the year that have done a lot of damage to our ocean. And on May 13, 2016, Lorraine Chow reported that the Shell Gas Company released 2,100 barrels of gasoline into the ocean, in the Gulf of Mexico actually. That ended up being 90,000 gallons of crude into the ocean. Another oil spill was reported on Lake Ontario on June 27th, 2016. Tim Knox reports that the FitzPatrick nuclear plant had an oil spill due to a pump failure, and said the oil started leaking on the roof. It leaked through a drain on the roof, and then it eventually just ended up draining into the lake. And this oil spill was only 20 to 30 gallons of oil, but that can still do a pretty decent amount of damage. And the plant ended up shutting down, and they started to clean immediately and act upon the spill immediately. Bill Rigby on June 25, 2016 reported an oil spill from the Peru Energy Company in the Amazon area down in like South America over there. There was a ruptured pipeline, and they acted immediately to the spill to protect the environment, and they mainly focused on making sure the oil didn't absorb into the ground, and they were unsure about how much oil was actually spilled in this oil spill. The damage of an oil spill is a very costly cleanup. The Exxon oil spill in March 1989 cost roughly $8.8 billion for damage and cleanup, and there was 1,000 miles of shoreline and ocean damaged with oil, and thousands of animals were killed in this. There was 11 million gallons of oil, and there is still today damage in the Alaskan beaches. And I have a picture, I don't know if you can see it, that was some of the aftermath of that oil spill. Though you can't really see the spill today anymore, 25 years later, there's still damage to the beaches. The Ocean Service posted on March 21st, 2014 that oil spills can be very harmful to all kinds of marine life. From birds to mammals, fish, shellfish, pretty much anything that lives in the ocean. The oil can destroy the fur on mammals, which the fur keeps them warm, and if the water's cold, if that gets destroyed, they'll pretty much pass away from hypothermia. It ruins the water repellency on the bird's wings, and if it is ingested by any animal, it's poisonous, so they'll more than likely get poisoned by it. If fish get exposed to it, they reduce in growth, they have enlarged livers, and change in heart rate. I have a couple more little pictures here. This is what the little otters look like when they are exposed to oil. And you can see here the bird can't really do anything with its wings or use it because it's covered in oil, can't really do anything. Alright, oil spills can do immediate and long-term damage, and the damage can last up to decades. As I said with the other oil spill, 25 years later, there's still damage on the beaches. It damages beaches, marshlands, and fragile aquatic ecosystems below the water. The oil absorbs into the sand, the plants, pretty much anything that's in the water, and pretty much anything that is contaminated by oil in the ocean. It makes it impossible for wildlife to live in there. Can't really do much with a destroyed habitat. And the oil it sinks from the surface of the ocean, and it damages coral reefs and the marine ecosystems below the surface, and it kills all animals within. The Oil Spill and Prevention Response Team wrote, the oil from the marine spills, the oil from the open water marine spills, when they go to clean it up, the objectives are to prevent the spill from reaching the shoreline, reducing the impact of the oil on marine life, pretty much helping them stay alive and healthy, and to speed up degradation of any uncovered oil. And helping with that, there are these dispersants they use to help clean the oil. And they are chemical agents similar to soaps and detergents. And what they do is they help break down the oil into smaller pieces. It doesn't fully clean up the oil spill, but it makes the oil into smaller pieces, and I guess that makes it more biodegradable. So it's a little healthier, I guess. And these dispersants are sprayed on the spills by special boats and airplanes from the sky. And it is always a good idea to be prepared for something like this. These oil spills are usually accidents, so there's not much we can do to prevent them, but we can always be here to help clean them up. And they have special veterinarians that help the animals. They clean them up and they give them little rehab centers until they get better, and pretty much help them until they're able to live back in the ocean where they belong. And in conclusion, you can see what horrible damages oil spills can do to our environment, and it is always best to be prepared and act immediately upon a spill. They're not preventable, but we can make a very big difference by cleaning up after them. And the ocean is more than half of our world, so it's best to take care of it. It's a really big part of our environment. We need to take care of it. I hope to keep our world a beautiful and wonderful place, and I hope after hearing my speech today, it inspires you to want to help more with our marine environment.